Hi everyone, welcome to your class today. Let's start our practice with an oil of choice. So my choice today is geranium. Geranium has also recently just come into South Africa, so I grabbed the opportunity. I have been using it for a while. It's a beautiful oil. It's also known as the oil of love and trust. So a little bit about this oil. It is known to restore confidence in the innate goodness of others and in the world. And it facilitates trust, especially when we have lost trust in others due to difficult life circumstances. It also assists in reestablishing a strong bond to one's mother and father. And where there has been a loss of trust in relationships, this oil encourages emotional honesty, love, and forgiveness. It fosters receptivity to human love and connection. So it's a beautiful oil. If you do have geranium, please go ahead and take a drop into your hands or whatever oil you're using today. Rubbing your hands together and taking a few deep breaths of the oil. Coating your aura with its positive properties of emotional healing, trust, forgiveness, gentleness, love, tolerance, and openness. So just placing your hands on your heart center, closing your eyes, even if you don't have an oil. Placing your hands on your heart and just connecting. Geranium also helps in healing a broken heart. It encourages emotional honesty by facilitating the emergence of grief or pain that has been suppressed. It softens anger and it assists in healing emotional wounds. And where do we find our emotions? In the hips. So that is what we are going to work on today. So just rest your hands in your lap, sitting up tall, allowing your eyes to close and just gently lengthening into the back of the neck. Just take a moment to get yourself still, to let go of any distractions, to shelve anything that is left unfinished, to arrive on your yoga mat, in your body, right here in this moment as you are. We're going to journey into our hips today. And a lot can come up during this process. As you know, we tend to store a lot of our stress and tension in that area of our bodies. So today, I invite you to allow your feelings to come, to let yourself break and crack open so that anything that needs to come up will arise. So don't resist today. Rather allow. Take a nice deep inhale. Hold the breath. And exhale it out. Another deep breath. Hold. And exhale. Last one, inhale. Hold. And exhale. And then just allow your breath to return back to its natural rhythm. You may still have the scent of geranium or your oil of choice floating around. So for those of us who have a difficult time accessing our emotions, we can be supported by this oil, geranium, as it leads away from the logical mind and into the warmth and nurture of the heart. At its root, this oil heals the heart. It instills unconditional love and it fosters trust. So invite that into your heart space, into your practice today. And when you're ready, take a nice deep inhale. Open your mouth and sigh it out. And then gently allow your eyes to open. Welcome yourself to your practice. Okay, so bring your hands out in front of you. Lengthen up tall through the spine. You're in easy pose, either cross-legged or just bringing your one foot in front of the other with your knees bent and resting on the ground. Hands out in front of you. And we're going to start to walk your hands forward, coming into a bit of a seated forward fold. So make sure that your sit bones don't lift, that they are still grounded. And start to reach your arms as far forward as you can, gently lengthening into the sides and the back of the neck. If you can bring your forehead down to the ground. So wherever you are, leaning forward, try not to round into your back. Just feel the stretch in the glutes, the upper glutes, the hips. Just taking a few deep breaths. Good, and then from here, walk your hands over to the left, all the way over. And just come to a place that feels good to you. Just letting go of right and wrong, and just be with the sensation. Enjoy the sensations that you're feeling. And it's okay if you're feeling a little tight, your hips will open. Getting a nice stretch on the right side of the body. Take one more breath here. Good, and then walk your hands all the way over to the opposite side. Stretching the hands forward, lengthening into the torso. Deepening into your breath. And then gently bring your hands back to center and walk them back towards you. Nice. All right, we're going to cross our ankles, roll over your knees, and come into your tabletop position, all fours. Okay. We're going to start with a few hip circles, just to open up the hips. So start in a clockwise direction, moving your shoulders forward over your wrist. You're getting a bit of a wrist stretch as well, taking the hip out to the right, back towards the heels, over to the left, and then reaching it forward again. So this is just going to help open out your outer hips. So just feel into any sensations that come up. If you notice any tension, just be with it. Breathe into it. And know that it will dissolve, and that it can dissolve over time with a repeated practice of yoga. Let's take one more circle in this direction. And we'll change direction, moving in the opposite way, anti-clockwise. Or let's take one more. And we'll meet back in a neutral spine. Good. So let's set ourselves up for our first down dog. Take your hands out a little further in front of you. Tuck your toes under and start to rise your hips up, coming into your first down dog. So if it is your first one for the day, feel into it. Legs might still be a little tight, might be early in the morning, might be after a long day. Just stretch it out. Let your feet be hip distance apart. Bending into one knee at a time, stretch into the toes, lengthen into the back of the legs. And then come to find stillness. Have a look up at your hands, spread your fingers wide and press down through the pads of your fingers. Take the weight off of your wrists. And then start to wrap your shoulders. So drawing shoulder blades away from the spine, not towards the spine. And then draw your sit bones down towards your heels. Good. Now take a nice deep inhale. Right leg reaches up. Open up the hips, stretch it out. You can bend into your top knee. Just feel it out. Keep pressing that left heel down towards the mat. Oh, good. And then extend the legs, square the hips off and lower it back down. Down dog. Let's take it to the other side. Left leg reaches up. Bend into the top knee. Open up the hip. Stretch it out. And then extend the legs, square the hips off and lower down, down dog. Let's start to walk your feet forward, coming into a forward fold at the top of your mat. Take a nice wide stance with your feet, so wider than your hips. Bend your knees, grab a hold of opposite elbows and take a nice wide ragdoll, maybe gently swaying from side to side if that feels good, or just find stillness. Good, then coming back to center, holding onto the elbows, relaxing into the neck. So there's no tension. Relax into the jaw. Let the brain drop to the top of the skull. Good, and then release your hands, heel toe your feet in a little closer. Bend your knees and slowly start to roll the spine up one vertebra at a time. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And then inhale to reach your arms all the way up. Ground down into your feet. And exhale, come into your chair pose. Good. So starting our practice by warming up the hips. And as we move towards the end of our practice, we'll get into those deep hip openers. But we have to create the heat first so we can safely dive in. So sit your hips nice and low, gazes forward. Pull your shoulders back and draw your tummy in. Inhale to mountain. And exhale to bend your knees and take your arms back into aeroplane arms. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bend the knees, take it back. I want you to continue at your own pace, moving as fast or as slow as you want in order to build the heat and warmth that we need to create that space in our bodies. So depending on your energy levels, depending on how your body's feeling, find your pace. So yoga is about creating space in our bodies, space in our minds, freedom in our hips, freedom in our hearts, freedom in our minds. Last few. Three, two, and one. Reach up and exhale. Bring your hands to your heart. Close your eyes. Find stillness. Maybe feel the beat of your heart. Just connecting to it. Good. Hands down by your sides. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale to a forward fold. Bring your hands to your calf muscles. And fold in deep. So nice deep forward bend. You can even bring your forearms along the back of your calves, drawing yourself in. You can keep a slight bend in the knees if the back of the legs are still tight. So just do what feels good to your body. Again, we're letting go of right and wrong, and we're finding freedom in our practice. Letting this practice feel good to us. Not resisting. Let's take one more breath here. Deep inhale. And exhale. Bring your hands down to the ground. Inhale to a halfway lift. Ground your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward to plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest and chin. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Right leg steps forward between your hands. Take your gaze up. Left leg steps forward, forward fold. Inhale, rise your arms all the way up. And exhale, bring your prayer to your heart. Hands down by your sides. Inhale, sweep it up, full breath in. Exhale, bow down, forward fold. Inhale, rise up halfway, lengthen. Good. Right leg steps back, ground your hands down, left leg steps back, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga to the floor. Inhale, find a cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Find your breath. Wrap your shoulders. Lower your heels. Right leg reaches back behind you, three-legged dog. Bring your knee to your chest, round your back, draw your shoulders forward over your wrists, look between your hands, and then plant your foot down between your hands, lower the back knee down. Reach the arms all the way up. And then bring your hands onto your knee. And I want you to sink into that knee, just stretching into the front of the hip. Opening up into the body, creating that space. Holding here for one more breath. Good, and then start to take your hips back. Straightening into your front leg, bring your hands down, maybe onto some blocks if you need a little bit of height. You might want to walk those toes forward and then draw them up towards the sky. Take a nice deep inhale and then bow and breathe. Keep that left hip directly above the left knee and draw those right toes up towards the sky. We're going to open those right toes to the right. So just taking a slight twist to the right with that right leg. And you should feel the inside of your calf and your inner thigh shining up towards the sky. Now bow, and you may feel something different to how you normally feel in this posture. Holding for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come up, draw the toes back up to center, and then slide that heel in, bending into your front knee. Place your hands at the front of the mat, tuck your back toes under and lift through the back leg. We're going to set up for warrior 1. So ground down into your back foot and inhale to reach the arms all the way up. Bending deeply into the front knee. And you'll start to feel that left hip flexor saying hi at the very front of your hip, opening up. So dive into the front knee so you can feel that stretch. Take one more breath, deep inhale. And then exhale, open out into warrior 2. So just check your alignment. Front heel bisecting the arch of your back foot. Pull your shoulders back and sink into your front thigh. Good. And then we're going to inhale, straighten into the front leg, reach the arms up. And exhale, lunge. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lunge. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. And exhale, 5. Beautiful. Reverse your warrior. And then find your extended side angle. So again, you can bring your elbow onto the thigh or your hand down onto the ground and reach your top arm all the way overhead. So keep that knee in line with the toes and tuck that right glute under, open up into the chest. Can you go deeper by bringing your right hand to the floor if that's an option for you? Nice, one more breath. And then release the left hand down to the ground, swivel onto the back toes coming into your lunge. We're going to take that right leg back into a 3-legged dog. And we're going to step that right foot on the outside of the right hand. Lower your back knee down to start. All right. So I want you to find a focal point in front of you. Point that's not moving, your drishti. And you're going to either stay up onto your hands or you're going to lower down onto your forearms. And again, you can tuck your back toes under and extend through the back leg or keep that back knee down. If you're keeping the back knee down, that's your focus is on flexibility. If you're looking for strength, extend through the back leg. So find your drishti. This helps to keep your mind present. So in yoga, we want to keep the mind and the body in the same place. And obviously, our minds are always present, or our bodies rather, are always present, but the mind is the one that doesn't always follow. So when we can join the mind and the body in the present moment, that's when the magic happens. So breathing here. We have about 30 seconds left. Deepen into your breath. Feel into sensation. Good. Last full breath. And then slowly come up onto your hands. If your back leg is extended, lower your back knee down. We're going to take a bit of a twist here. So reaching the right arm up towards the sky. And you can either stay here, or if you are quite flexible, you can take a quad stretch. So bending into your back leg, grab a hold of your back foot and draw that foot in towards your sit bone. Holding here. Even if you can't grab your foot, keep reaching for it every time. Every time, reach for it. One day you'll find it. It'll be there. Hold it here. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Hands come down to the mat. Step back. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Rock forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Find your breath. All right, let's take that to the other side. Left leg reaches back behind you, 3-legged dog. Bring the knee to the chest, round the back, pull belly in. Look between your hands and then step that left foot between the hands. Lower your back knee down. Reach your arms all the way up. And then rest your hands onto your front knee. And we're going to lunge a little deeper into that front knee as you stretch into the front of the hip. Lifting up through the chest. Holding here. Good, and then slowly starting to take the hips back as you straighten into the front leg. You can place your hands down onto blocks or the floor. Shift your toes forward. Keep that hip and knee aligned, and then draw the left toes up towards the sky. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold. Last two. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Let's turn those toes out to the left. Just changes the sensations of the stretch. So inhale, find length. Exhale, bow down and fold. 2 more breaths here. Nice. Inhale, come back up, draw those toes back up. Maybe pull the heel in a bit. Bend into the front knee, coming into your lunge. Plant your hands down. Tuck your back toes under and extend through the back leg. Grounding the back foot down, we're setting up for warrior one. Inhale, rise. So again, you want to feel that stretch in the front hip flexor as you lunge deeply into that front knee. Reach up tall through the fingers, lengthen through the spine, but soften your shoulders. So finding a balance between effort and ease. Notice your breath. If your breath is struggling, you know your body's struggling. Can you find that ease? Sukha and Sthira. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Open out. Nice. Own your posture. Find your warrior. Keep your focus steady over your front fingers. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And then come into your extended side angle. Top arm reaches all the way overhead. Long line. Feel for drawing those left ribs up towards the sky. One more breath, deep inhale. And exhale, release the hands down. Swivel onto your back toes, coming into your lunge. And we'll take that left leg back into your three-legged dog, reaching it back behind you. And then let's step that left foot forward onto the outside of your left hand and set up for lizard on the side. So lower the back knee down. And again, you can stay up on your hands if you have any supports or props. You can use those if you come down onto your forearms. Again, if you're looking for strength, extend through that back leg. Otherwise, stay down on the knee. Keep your gaze forward. Lengthen through the spine. And just go as low as your body will allow you to go, knowing that you can modify or intensify this posture at any time and as you need. And then just let yourself get still. We are going to marinate in this pose just for a bit. We're here for just under a minute. And just being with sensation will help you stay present. It'll also help you respond to what your body needs. So just be present enough to respond. Let your breath take you in deeper. The deeper you breathe, the more opening will occur. Each exhale breath, you can go in a little deeper. So just breathe and feel. Let the tension dissolve. Let your mind unravel. Last few breaths. Nice. And slowly come up onto your hands. We're going to take that twist, so reaching the left arm up towards the sky. And you can stay here, or you can take your quad stretch, reaching that left arm back, Grabbing a hold of the back foot and drawing it in towards your sit bone. Holding for 3, 2, 1, and release. Hands come down to the ground, step back, downward facing dog. All right, let's take a deep inhale, rock forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a walk up to the top of your mat. Good. And we're going to cross your left foot over your right and fold forward. So this is a really great IT band stretch. You should feel it in the right leg, on the outside of the leg, from your hip all the way down to your knee. So just feeling sensation as you fold. Be with it. Don't resist. Breathe through it. Then inhale, halfway lift. Unfold the legs, and let's take it to the other side. So right foot crosses over the left. Take a deep inhale and fold on the exhale. And invite that sensation in. Be curious. Breathe through it. We're so used to running away from sensation that doesn't feel good. Emotions that don't feel good. We don't want to have to deal with them. So we store them. We pack them away. We know that they're there, but we don't need to deal with them. So we're unpacking today. We're facing them full on. And we're breathing through them. Allowing. Good. Inhale halfway. Unravel the legs. Good. Take another full breath, halfway loop. Ground your hands down. Step back, plank pose. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Or if you're ready for an up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Rise up onto your toes, bend your knees, look up at your hands, walk, step, or float it forward, coming into your forward fold. Inhale, rise the arms all the way up. And exhale, hands down by your sides. Good. We're going to come into your chair pose, so bending into your knees, reaching your arms up. And then taking your arms out to the sides with your palms facing forward. Bend into the elbows, so you're coming into cactus arms. And then you're going to bring the elbows together, wrapping right over left. Palms touch. Now shift your weight onto your right foot. Come up onto your left toes. And start to bring that left leg over your right. So you can tap your toes down to the ground, or you can wrap your toes behind your right calf. Lunge deeply into the knee, holding here for 5. Keep your gaze steady. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release the legs. Straighten into them. Relax your arms, reach them all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Nice. All right. Let's take that to the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend your knees. Find Utkatasana chair pose. Extend your arms out to the sides. Bend into the elbows, cactus arms. And then bring those elbows in towards each other. Left elbow over the right. Now shift your weight onto your left foot. Come up onto your right toes. Find your balance. And then slowly start to draw that right leg over the left. Squeezing those inner thighs in towards each other. Squeezing the shins in towards each other. And hold. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. And slowly release the legs, coming into chair. Inhale, straighten. Relax the arms, reach them all the way up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up to a halfway lift. And step it back into your downward facing dog. Let's take a vinyasa. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths. Feeling into the space of each one. Nice. Inhale, right leg reaches back behind you. 3-legged dog. Keep your hips level. Bring your knee to your nose, hover forward. And then let's set that shin down, setting up for your pigeon pose. Extending the left leg back. So the more parallel your shin is to the top of the mat, the deeper the stretch. If you find you're leaning over to the right, place a blanket, cushion, or block underneath that right hip. Take a full breath in. And then exhale, fold forward. Bending into the elbows, you can rest your hands on a block, a cushion, or your hands, or the mat. Close your eyes. So that nothing can distract you from what you are doing. Just come to your breath so your body can open. Just be here, in the moment, exactly as you are. And if resistance or frustration comes up, use your breath to let these feelings arise and dissolve. Breathing nice and deep, surrendering into your posture. Opening up into that storeroom, facing those emotions, those sensations. Invite them back in. Unpack them. Last few breaths. Nice. And gently come up onto your forearms. You're going to keep your left forearm on the ground and bring your right hand to your sacrum. And all I want you to do is twist open towards the right. Just a gentle twist. Holding here for 3. Getting a deeper opening into that hip. 2. Last one. And slowly release. Good. Walk your hands back. Reach your heart up. Sink deeply into your hips. Find your breath. Good. And then ground your hands down. Tuck your back toes under and push back into your downward facing dog. Stay with that deep breath. One more inhale and exhale. Left leg reaches back behind you, three-legged dog. Bring the knee to the chest, round the back. And let's set that shin down in front of you, setting up for pigeon on the other side. Extending that right leg back, leveling out into the hips. So make sure those hips are facing the front. If you're finding that you are leaning over, please find the support to level out the hips. Take a deep inhale and then exhale. Come into your forward fold. Soften down into your posture. Open that left cupboard, that we stash everything we don't need and don't want. And let's discover what's in there. What can you bring out? What can you face? What can you start to understand rather than resist? Is there a lesson? Is there a message in there? Breathe through it. Drop in and listen. Last few breaths. Nice. Slowly coming up onto your forearms. You're going to keep your right forearm down on the ground and bring your left hand to your sacrum, twisting to the left. So rolling that left shoulder back, deepening into that left hip for 3, 2, and last one. Good. Slowly release, bring your hands down, lengthen into the spine. Again, reaching your chest up, take a full breath in. And exhale. Ground your hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale, rock forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Come right up onto your toes and start to walk your feet forward, coming into your forward fold at the top of your mat. Now reach your hands behind your feet and then slowly bend the knees and sit your hips down. Good. Bringing the soles of the feet together, knees out wide, Baddha Konasana. Taking a nice long spine with your next inhale. And as you breathe out, fold forward. Bringing your heart or your head down towards your feet. Connecting to your breath. Keep your spine nice and long. Last few breaths. And then gently bring yourself back up, rolling the spine. Nice. All right. What you're going to do is you're going to bring that right leg in and you're going to cradle it. So I'm going to give you two options. You can forklift your right foot, so placing your hands or your arms underneath that right arm, or you can cradle it, so bringing your left arm and placing the foot into the crook of your elbow, and then the right arm comes around, placing the knee into the crook of the elbow. You can interlace your hands or just hold onto your foot and draw that shin in towards your chest, lengthening through the spine. So try not to round into the back, but lift up through the heart. Holding it here for 3, 2, and 1. And then a gentle rock from side to side. Good. And from here, we're going to come into your Gomukhasana. So you're going to bring that right leg on top of the left so that the knees are aligned. If you find this very challenging, you can extend your bottom leg out in front of you. Otherwise, stack your feet are resting on the sides. Your knees are pointing forward, one on top of the other. And we're going to come into a forward fold. So bringing your hands out in front of you, find length. Breathe in. And then exhale, walk your hands forward into your forward fold. Maybe coming down onto your forearms or staying on your hands. Allow your head to drop, your jaw to relax, your eyes to close. You may feel this in your hips, in your glutes, maybe even in your lower back. Just let the tension dissolve. Let your breath take over. Just feel and acknowledge whatever is coming up for you without judgment. All right, then if you are on your forearms, press up into your hands. And you're going to walk your legs, or your hands rather, not your legs, but your hands over to the right for a bit of a stretch into that left side. Holding here. Good, and then coming back to center and walk your hands back. And we're going to take a fire log pose from here. So stacking the right shin on top of the left. Flex into your feet. So the ankle is on top of the knee. Knee is on top of the ankle. If you look between your legs, you should have a perfect little triangle. And then hands out in front of you. Take a full breath and exhale to fold. Breathing nice and deep. Just feeling into sensation, softening into it. Good. And then come up onto your hands. Walk your hands back towards you. Good. And then extend the legs out in front. Good. Let your hands rest alongside your hips. Lengthen up through the spine. Flex your feet. Hold it here. Nice. Beautiful. Bend into your knees. Soles of the feet on your mat. Let your knees open up into Baddha Konasana. And we're going to take that cradle on the other side. So bringing your left shin towards you, either forklift or cradle. So whichever variation suits you best. You can just bring that right heel in towards you, just making it comfortable, lengthening through the spine, softening through the shoulders, drawing that shin in, opening up into the left hip. Breathing. Two more. Good. Then a gentle rock from side to side. A little more opening. Nice. And then start to bring that left knee on top of the right, setting up for Gomukhasana on the other side. So again, option to extend your bottom leg out in front of you. Let your feet rest on the ground. Bring your hands out in front. Inhale to find length. And exhale to bow. Staying on your hands or coming down onto your forearms. Soften into the neck. Let go of the tightness. Let go of the tension. Where can you find a softness in this posture? Where can you let go a little more? Last two. Last one. Slowly come back. And let's find your fire log pose on the other side. Stacking left shin on top of the right. Flex into the feet. Find your triangle. Hands out in front. Full breath. Exhale, fold. Last two. Slowly come all the way up. Nice. And extend the legs out in front of you. Just maybe shaking them out a little if they need that. And then place the soles of your feet onto your mat. Shift your hips forward. Extend your arms out in front. And then come to lie all the way down on your back. Nice and slow and controlled. Using your abs. Bringing both knees in towards your chest. And then keep that left knee drawing in. And we're going to come into a half happy baby with your right leg. So bending into the right knee, sole of the right foot pointing up towards the sky. Grab a hold of the outside of that right foot and draw that right knee down towards the mat alongside your body. Keep pressing into your sacrum. So your left knee drawing in towards your left armpit, just to balance out the sacrum. Grounding down through both sides. One more breath. Nice. Nice. And slowly release that right leg all the way down to the ground. Bring that left knee into center. And let's take it over into a spinal twist. So reaching it over to the right as you extend your left arm back behind you. Maybe taking your gaze back towards that left hand or your gaze up. But close your eyes. Soften. Feel. Then inhale, bring it back to center. Hug both knees in. Now keep your right knee drawing in towards your chest, and let's take a half happy baby with your left foot. So left foot points up towards the ceiling. Bring that left arm on the inside of your left knee, bending into the left knee and drawing it down towards the mat. And then start to draw that right knee towards your right armpit. Level out the hips, press down into your lower back. So you're pressing down with your left hand, but you're pushing up with your left foot at the same time. Active happy baby. Last two. Good. And then slowly release that left leg. Bring it all the way down to the ground. Let's take your spinal twist over to the opposite side. So taking that right knee over to the left. Your gaze back or up ahead to the ceiling or the sky, depending on where you're practicing today. Holding here for 2 more breaths. Good. Inhale, bring it back to center. Hug both knees in. Place your feet down onto the ground. Knees are bent, just setting up for a bridge. Final posture before we come into your relaxation. Arms alongside you. Your longest finger should be able to touch your heels, or at least reach for them. And then take a deep inhale, tuck your tailbone and start to lift up. Drawing your knees forward. Heart up. Back of the neck is long. Holding 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Good, slowly lower down. Let the knees fall over to the right, and then over to the left. Bring them back to center, and slowly start to extend, setting yourself up for your final resting pose. Shavasana, spreading the shoulder blades, palms facing up. Make yourself comfortable, cozy, warm, and just enjoy where you are. Let go of any judgments of yourself and your body. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. Let go of any frustration, any resistance, even any anger. Sometimes that comes up. Let it all go. You are here. Now just let yourself feel this heavenly moment of freedom in your body and in your mind. Surrendering. knowing that you are perfect as you are. Let yourself unravel. Now gently begin to bring yourself back into your body, back into your temple that you've been given in this lifetime. Feel into it, breathe into it. Invite movement to your fingers, your toes. And then gently stretch by reaching your arms all the way overhead. Taking a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, draw those knees in, give yourself a hug. Roll over onto your left side. Take a moment. When I speak on the heart, I'm talking about your creative self, your internal self, your intuition, and your source of power. Don't be dragged by what makes the most sense. Rather, be pulled by what you already know and in exactly where it counts, your body. Stand in the heat of that truth, because you know what? It will always be there. Rather than running from it, be fierce enough to know it. Be courageous enough to let it lead you. Take one small step in that direction, just one. Walk slowly if you must. You'll burn brighter and brighter as you go. When you're ready, gently bring yourself to seated facing the front with your eyes closed. Bringing your hands to your heart in gratitude of all the love that you hold in it. May we spread it out to everyone around us. Take a deep inhale and sigh it out. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice today. Until we meet on the mat again, the love, light, and understanding in me bow in honors to the love, light, and willingness in you. Namaste.